Follow my beat. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Rama, Rama, Rama life has become perfectly balanced. Unfortunately, our modern day world is completely imbalanced. And because of our being in this imbalanced atmosphere, we're all imbalanced. Frankly, we're all imbalanced. It's a very miserable position to be in, imbalanced. It's like Gita says, Sangat sanjayake kama. One's association determines your consciousness. You develop your consciousness according to your association. So since we're living in this imbalanced world, we're very imbalanced or unbalanced. However, if one is fortunate enough to come into the association of someone who is balanced, and one actually takes advantage of that association and learns, takes lesson, follows the guidance of the balanced person, then one can become balanced. Even in the midst of an imbalanced atmosphere, one can become perfectly balanced. So I had the greatest good fortune of coming in contact with His Divine Grace, the Supreme Balanced Person, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. So I learned from him. I learned how to follow his instructions. He personally guided me in many ways, personal. Sometimes one-on-one he would answer questions, and in the lectures he would answer. I would ask questions, he would answer. Or I would write him letters and he would answer. So I got a lot of direct instructions from Prabhupada. And by following those instructions, my life has become ecstatic. For almost 50 years now, I've been living a balanced life, following the instructions of the Supreme Balanced Person, the Divine Grace of Prabhupada. So I come today to share what I've learned in 50 years with you all today, to help you all become balanced. There's many nice purports and verses which help us understand this great thing called balance. Another word is equipoised. The Prabhupada uses, sometimes the word balance is used, but mostly Prabhupada likes the word equipoised. In one place he says, the mode of goodness, that is balance. But the mode of goodness is tinged with passion and ignorance. So the mode of goodness is balance, but pure devotional service is perfect balance. So we'll look at some of these nice verses that help us understand balance and how to be balanced. First I will look at Bhagavad Gita 2:48. Let's see if I can find that in 2:48 Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita 2:48. Yogastha kuru karmani sangam chattva dhananjaya siddha siddhyo samo buddhava samadvam yoga uchate. Perform your duty equipoised, O Arjuna. Perform your duty balanced, you see, O Arjuna. Abandoning all attachment to success or failure, such equanimity is called yoga, or such balance is called yoga. So that's, yoga means balance. Yoga means linking with the Supreme. Prabhupada's purport, Krishna tells Arjuna that he should act in yoga, or balance. And what is that yoga or balance? Yoga means to concentrate the mind on the Supreme by controlling the ever-disturbing senses. That's an interesting way of describing our senses. Ever-disturbing. Why is it they're called ever-disturbing? Because they're constantly distracting us from Krishna. The eyes are looking for this, the ears are hearing that. We're being distracted by these senses again and again and again. And then Prabhupada continues, and who is the Supreme? The Supreme is the Lord. because he himself is telling Arjuna to fight. Arjuna has nothing to do with the results of the fight. Gain or victory are Krishna's concern. Arjuna is simply advised to act according to the dictation of Krishna. The following of Krishna's dictation is real yoga, and this is practiced in the process called Krishna consciousness. By Krishna consciousness only can one give up the sense of proprietorship. One has to become the servant of Krishna, or the servant of Krishna. That is the right way to discharge duty in Krishna consciousness, which alone can help one to act in yoga, which means again balance. Arjuna is a Kshatriya, and as such he is participating in the Varnashram Dharma institution. It is said in the Vishnu Purana that in the Varnashram Dharma the whole aim is to satisfy Vishnu. No one should satisfy himself, as is the rule in the material world, but one should satisfy Krishna. So unless one satisfies Krishna, one cannot correctly observe the principles of Varnashram Dharma. Indirectly, Arjuna was advised to act as Krishna told him. So what do we gather from this? Balance means to act in Krishna consciousness. To be transcendental, to gain or loss, victory or defeat. One simply acts as duty, offering the result. Yat kadoshi yadashnasi yad jahosi dadasi yat tapashashi kondaya tat kadushva madarpanam. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer, give away, as well as whatever austerities you may perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me. That makes us balanced. How do you supply energy to your body in a balanced way? So the hand gets what it needs, the ears, the eyes, the legs. How do you provide balanced energy to every part of your body? It's very simple. You just feed the belly, and the belly does the work, distributing it. If you really want to be balanced, you have to give your energy to Krishna. Whatever imbalance we have is due to the fact that we're not giving everything to Krishna. We're trying to enjoy separately from Krishna. That makes us imbalanced. Of course, then the question is, well, how much time should I spend thinking about my career, or thinking about my body, in relationship with, my devotional activities? That's a question of balancing them. And you always put Krishna first. There's nice statements about this. It's like in the Nectar Devotion. Baba quotes, he says, Baba quotes from the Naradiya Purana. If one is actually serious about devotional service, then all his purposes will be served without any delay. So we have other, we have bodily needs. You have to, you have to have a place to live, you have to have food to eat, you have to keep your body healthy. Sometimes we become sick. There's all these material concerns. But if we actually focus on Krishna, serving Krishna, we're serious about devotional service, it's confirmed by the Naradiya Purana, these other things will come. They'll come automatic, over and done. For materialist, he's struggling just to make his material necessity, just to get his material needs met. When you actually become determined to become Krishna's pure devotee, and you're always begging Krishna for pure devotional service, trying to offer everything for his pleasure, your job, or family relationships, whatever you're doing, you're trying to do everything in a way that will please Krishna. Then it becomes easy. It's even confirmed in the Bible. Matthew 6:33. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. But we just focus on becoming Krishna's pure devotee, other things will come. Krishna can easily arrange for a job, a place to live. He's giving it for all the atheists. Why he wouldn't give it for his devotees? You simply have to focus on being a pure devotee of Krishna. My dear Lord, please bless me that I can be a pure devotee. Please free me from my lust, anger, greed, madness, delusion. Let me be a pure devotee. We have to cultivate that Krishna conscious lifestyle. Always. Prabhupada told us in one lecture in Hyderabad, he said, be always engaged in studying, in rendering service, understanding the philosophy, then life will be successful. Those three things: study, serve, and understand. Always study the philosophy, always render service, and always try to understand this philosophy of Krishna consciousness. Then everything will be there. Perfect balance will be there. Prabhupada speaks here, it's very nice in the teachings of Lord Kapila Dev. He says, human life is meant for yajna, satisfaction or sacrifice for the satisfaction of the Supreme Person. We may perfect our activities, but our success lies in satisfying Krishna by our talents. Presently we may be attached to material activity, but we should transfer that attachment to a sadhu. Then our lives will be successful. Presently so having a spiritual master is very essential then. Being attached to a sadhu. Prabhupada explained. It's important. Krishna consciousness is not something impersonal. Krishna is a person. He's real. Even Prabhupada said, when you chant japa, you should feel the presence of Krishna. Because Krishna is actually there. It's not just the Krishna name of Krishna. The person, Krishna has actually come. Radharani and Krishna are actually present. You see? So it's a very personal thing. Very personal thing. And Krishna says, you should be the devotee of my devotee. Ye me bhakti partha, na me bhaktastate janaha, ye mad bhaktanam te ye bhaktas, te me bhaktatamamata. My dear Arjuna, the one who is my devotee, he is not my devotee, but the devotee of my devotee, he is my devotee. So in becoming balanced, you can't just be, not some impersonal thing. That real balance is to give your love to Krishna and to give your love to the sadhu who represents Krishna. Prabhupada continues speaking. Presently we are attached to money, women, nice houses, country, society, friends, family, and so forth. This attachment is called Arjanam Pashu. The word pasu means rope. When we are bound with a rope, we are helpless. And now we are bound with the gunas, or the three modes of material nature. The word guna also means rope. We cannot free ourselves, for we are conditioned. We cannot move freely without the sanction of the Supreme Authority. And it is generally said, not a blade of grass moves without God's sanction. Similarly, we cannot do anything without the supervision of a superior authority. So actually everything is there by Krishna's arrangement. Not a blade of grass moves without his sanction. So all your material arrangements, you see, they come easily if one is completely devoted to Krishna, totally sold out to Krishna, and to the sadhu who represents Krishna. So this is our real balance, to become totally absorbed in Krishna consciousness. And then Krishna gave us the intelligence. Tesham satata yuktanam vajatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam upayanti te. To those who are constantly devoted and render loving service unto me, I give them the intelligence how to come to me. So, understanding how to balance your material arrangements along with your devotional service, that understanding be crystal clear if you're constantly in the mood of devotion to Krishna. So the quality of how you're chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare is a big factor. Are you just getting your rounds done? Or are actually begging Krishna, intensely begging him to pure devotional service? Krishna, please bless me with pure devotional service. My dear Mother Radharani, my dear Krishna, please, please, please bless me with pure devotional service. If that mood is there, that calling to Krishna is there, then Krishna will give you the intelligence how to make everything perfect in your life. Everything. Where I will live, where I will work, how I will balance my schedule nicely, you see. Everything. It's actually not difficult to be Krishna's pure devotee. Really, it's the easiest thing in the world to be a pure devotee of Krishna. We just have to have the determination that I have nothing else to do except to be Krishna's pure devotee. No one, you see. When you do that, when you actually focus on pure devotional service, the material things are there. Just like Bhaktivinoda Thakur is a pure devotee. And he had a very responsible post working for the British government. He had the highest post an Indian can hold in the British government, magistrate. That's the highest position an Indian can hold in the British government. And he was so expert in doing all his work, judging the cases. The other justices would be going on for hours and hours and hours trying to figure out how to do their work. He would get it done, boom, 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 finished, you see. So even in your material activities, your job, and all your material arrangements, you know, taking care of your car, your computer, whatever you have to do, you know, the tire, your car needs tires with, you know, flat tire being, all these little things, flat tire, putting air in the tire, all these little detailed material things. If we're actually absorbed in pure devotional service, it's easier for the devotee than it is for a karmi. You know, the karmi is fully focused on these material things, and the devotee is focused on Krishna. He can deal with the material things more expertly than the karmi can deal with the material things. That's the lesson from Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So if we're having difficulty struggling with the material things, it means we're not focused on pure devotional service. We're still trying to enjoy this material world. And so when that mood is there, and Krishna will help us on making it very difficult for us in the material world. And that's his kindness, isn't it? Krishna is very kind. Prabhupada gives some very amazing, doing the research for this seminar, I've had so many amazing quotes from Prabhupada. Wow, just like unbelievably enlightening stuff here. And in the first canto, Bhagavatam, chapter 6, text 10, purport. Prabhupada says, confidential devotees of the Lord see in every step a benedictory direction of the Lord. What is considered to be an odd or a difficult moment in the mundane sense is accepted as a special mercy of the Lord. Wow. The devotee sees everything as Krishna's special blessing on him. Even in his job, everything is happening. He sees that Krishna is blessing me with his unlimited mercy at every minute, in every situation. That's the mood of the confidential devotee of the Lord. The one who is actually purely absorbed in Krishna consciousness, he sees that Krishna is blessing him in every situation, unlimitedly blessing him in every situation. So for him, there's no such thing as difficulty. And I found another quote, an instruction to one of his disciples. Yeah. And this disciple was a very high level of understanding, was praying to be in difficulty. Please put me in difficulty. Prabhupada liked that. He said, your prayer that you pray to be put always in difficulty, just like Queen Kunti Devi. She prayed to Krishna in the same way, because whenever there was trouble, Krishna felt the suffering of his devotees and stayed by them to help them. As soon as the trouble ended, Krishna went away. So let us always pray that Krishna will put us in the difficulty so that we may expect that he will always remain by us and not go away. Can you imagine? Krishna, please keep me always in difficulty. So even if our material situation, our job, or our health is a difficult thing, actually, that's a great blessing. Just like I've gone through hell this last week, I had an infection in my ear canal. It was so painful. It was like somebody took a nail and hammered it into my ear. It was unbelievably painful. This shooting thing. You see? So, but then Krishna made a very, like Krishna's arrangement, we found a very nice, my disciple found a very nice doctor, gave me exactly what I needed. Without much difficulty, the problem was solved. So the thing is, if one is very sincere to always be pleasing Krishna in these material situations, the difficulties come, they're easily solved. And one should take advantage of those difficulties that come. We all have difficulties. You've got your difficulties, I've got mine. Right? You can make a song out of that. You've got your troubles, I've got mine. We all have troubles. In our relationships, in our jobs, in our bodily health, we all have difficulties, isn't it? Problem. It was like a popular song back in the 50s. Problems, problems, problems all day long. We're all going through problems. I have this problem, that problem, so many problems. But if you learn to see that these problems are the special mercy of Krishna, to help me take shelter of him, you see, then they're no longer problems, they're all blessings. You see? So now with that art we have to train ourselves, you see, like that. And then there's no problems anymore. It's just blessings. Blessings, blessings, shower, unlimited blessings shower upon me in every minute, in every situation. Prabhupada directly mentions balance in one place. He says, when one is fully qualified, yet is humble and gentle, and when one is able to keep his balance both in sorrow and in the ecstasy of joy, he has the opulence called patience. Shema. So that art we have to learn, Prabhus and Matajis, how to be balanced both in sorrow and in the ecstasy of joy. And again, how do you do that? We have to see this is Krishna's special blessing, this anxiety, this torture I'm going through right now, is the special mercy of Krishna. And this ecstasy I'm going through right now is the special mercy of Krishna. You see? When you see how Krishna is blessing you in every situation, then you can patiently endure whatever is happening, not becoming disturbed. My godbrother Ramatirtha Das, he also wrote about balance. He's the one who was in that book, Perfect Questions, Perfect Answers. I personally know him. I served with him in Houston many years ago. Very nice. He was our life member director. In those days, the ISKCON was all Westerners. And we had, but in Houston, they had a new thing going on, cultivating the Indians. The life membership program was, they weren't really initiated, but the life, and he was the one in charge of the cultivating the Indian community. And it was a very successful program. But he described a little bit about balance. He said, since 1972, when my adventure with Krishna began, I have always tried to balance my inner life with my external responsibilities. So I think that's really what you all wanted to hear, how to balance your inner life with your external responsibilities. Although balance has much more deep, there's much more meaning to the word balance than just that. But so how do you balance it, and how much energy you put into your material activities, and how much energy you put into your Krishna consciousness? The secret is you have to dovetail all your material activities into Krishna consciousness. That's the secret. I'm going to work today, not to maintain my family, but for Krishna. I go to the office, I'm getting out in the morning traffic jam on the freeway for Krishna, you see. Because I want to earn some money that I can use to create a Krishna conscious atmosphere for these people that Krishna has given me, his wife and children, to help them have a Krishna conscious atmosphere and to support the Krishna conscious movement. You have to see that everything is for Krishna. And if it's not, you should stop doing it. You can't do it for Krishna, you shouldn't be doing it, period. See, all your external activities have to be connected with Krishna. And that's the key. Prabhupada talks more about this balance in the Krishna book, chapter 73. He says, one should not be disturbed by duality, but should always be fixed. This is Krishna speaking, actually. One should not be disturbed by duality, should always be fixed in my devotional service, and thus remain balanced in mind and satisfied in all circumstances. So this is the great beauty of balance. It means being satisfied, you see. When you're balanced, you're satisfied. When you're imbalanced or unbalanced, you're not satisfied, you're disturbed, you see. So learning how to be peaceful and happy in all situations, that's balance. And the key is don't be disturbed by duality. See it all as a special mercy of Krishna. So, how do we then develop this purity of consciousness? Because of our association with this imbalanced material society, we have a tendency to be imbalanced ourselves. That's why this chanting of Hare Krishna is a very, very important thing. This Japamala Yagya we do every day. You see. Some devotees get up, they chant a couple of rounds, they hop in the car, and they chant a few rounds here, a few rounds there. You know, I'm trying to get it in the night, finishing up. But this is not very good. The key is you get up early in the morning and have a very intense, it's your personal meeting with Radha and Krishna. You have your darshan with Radha and Krishna every morning. You see, you get up and you have your time, this is time for my relationship with Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Get up early enough in the morning, you can have incredibly good japa every day. My wife and I, we get up at 2 a.m. so we can have really focused japa with no distractions. Now you're chanting japa and you're talking here while I do this, trying to wash this plate or take out the garbage or whatever. No, we get up, there's absolutely nothing to do except chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Give yourself a situation, set it up so you have completely undisturbed japa. And then you can, and then when you have that connection with Krishna, and you start your day like that, then you can see how Krishna is, you can see how Krishna is present every minute throughout the day. You see, you intensely connect with him in the morning. Then you can understand and feel his presence throughout the whole day, wherever you go. Krishna is always with you and always blessing you. He's seeing you, guiding you and blessing you in every situation. Where you're at work, at school, at home, at the temple, in the commute, shopping, wherever you are. You have to have that quality job. Prabhupada told my godbrother and godsister about chanting the Hare Krishna, about chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. You should always feel the presence of Krishna in person. And as Krishna in person, you can remember also about his talks with Arjuna. If you cannot remember Krishna in person, you should try to hear attentively the word Krishna, Hare, as you go on chanting. So we should try to, the ideal thing is to feel how Krishna is present. Feel how Krishna is present, how Radharani is present. That's the topmost standard of japa chanting. Krishna, you're present. I'm just begging you, please let me purely serve you and love you now with all my heart and soul. I'm begging you, Krishna. You're here with me now, and I'm begging you, please let me be fully absorbed with not holding anything back. Let me be fully absorbed in pleasing you. If you begin your day that way with an intense begging session, you say, begging? Yes. Prabhupada said, I'm an insignificant beggar. That when on the Jaladutta, remember he said, insignificant beggar. And then his prayer, Adura Duri offering, he said, save me a fallen, your divine grace. He's presenting himself as a fallen soul to his spiritual master. So this humility is very, very important thing. In fact, it's so important. Here's what Prabhupada said about it in a morning walk in Mayapur back in 1975. This is really an amazing book. He said, so disciples should always be ready to be chastised. He should not think he's become perfect. That is perfection. So long he thinks that he is not perfect, he's to be chastised, then he's perfect. As soon as he thinks that he's become perfect, he's nonsense immediately. Nonsense number one. So we should not be nonsense number one. We should always be ready to be chastised, you see. But I'm imperfect, I make so many mistakes, I'm a stupid fool, I deserve to be chastised unlimitedly every minute. When you have that mood, you're perfect. So that's a very essential part of being balanced. Realizing I'm an imbalanced idiot, complete basket case, spiritual basket case. So when Guru Maharaj chastises, when the Vaishnavas chastise me, that's Krishna's blessing. Ah, thank you, Krishna. Thank you, Krishna. These are some insider secrets of how to become balanced. Let's see, our schedule is speaking. So we can have some questions now. If there's any questions, I can try to answer them.
So one should remain a foolish.
Like to add some points?
So should we remain a foolish and want to be chastised?
Mother, there's a microphone.
Should remain
Remain a fool and want to be chastised and act like that all the time?
Should we purposely act like a fool so we can get chastised? Actually, I think there was a Adhikari who did that. He preached Mayavadi philosophy so Lord Chaitanya would chastise him because he never got chastised. But we're not on that level. Even when we try to be perfect, we make so many mistakes. Well, the point is we should strive for perfection in everything we do. We should sincerely strive to do everything perfectly.
Not that we should aspire.
Not that we should be spaced out and not care so we get chastised again and again and torture those who are associates by constantly making mistakes. We should really try to do everything perfectly at the time. Absolutely true. We should strive for perfection in every thought, every word, and every deed. Any other questions?
Questions are being written down. I'll collect them. I do have a question.
Everybody's on the internet. Do you have any questions there?
Why do you have to sit in the middle? Huh? Yeah, you can sit there. Not in the
It's an
middle.
unrelated question, but I'll answer it.
Just to walk.
Someone is listening in. This is from London, question coming in from London. When did Krishna take the form of Lord Vishnu? Actually, Krishna is eternally manifested as Lord Vishnu. The expansion of Krishna is eternally manifested. It's not, and it's always there. The Vishnu expansion is eternally there. So any other questions?
Who was you?
Paper. For her, right? Or can
Yes,
she ask?
Mataji, you can ask.
Okay.
She can
My question is like, if chastised, is Vaishnava Aparad, do you think?
What is the question?
Is chastising another Vaishnava aparad?
No, it's actually mercy.
But correctly.
If I chastise someone, is that a Vaishnava aparad?
It has to be correct.
No, one should. We have a duty to correct. If you actually love someone, they're doing something wrong, and they're trying to become perfect in Krishna consciousness. It's an act of kindness to chastise somebody. It's like what is that saying? Spare the rod and spoil the child. I love my kids. I'm never going to chastise. I just kiss them. I'll never chastise them. Well, yeah, I say the worst enemy of the children. You see, the duty of the parents is to chastise. Duty of the gurus is to chastise. Duty of the older devotees is to chastise the younger devotees. That's kindness. That's love. It's not an offense. It's an offense not to chastise.
But not unnecessary.
Huh?
Not unnecessary for my sense gratification. Not unnecessary for my sense gratification.
Yeah, it's not that you do it just out of an ego trip. That would be an offense. Just go around chastising. Yeah, you're all a bunch of demons. you low-class demon. No, not like that. But you're sincerely trying to help someone overcome their mistakes. In that way. Okay, here's the one written down, okay? Current job requires extra hours to work, which changes day-to-day schedule, how to have balance when the schedule is dynamically changing. Whose question? Yours? What are your normal, do you start work at the same time every day?
Sometimes it ends sometimes longer, sometimes have to work on weekends.
Do you start work at the same time every day?
Yes, Gurudev.
All right. So then you know how when you have to get up to get your rounds done.
Yes.
Did you start work at the same time every day? So you know when you need to get up and get your rounds done. So sometimes you get back late.
Yes.
How late?
1 hour extra on a weekdays.
Only 1 hour?
Yeah.
Not 8 hours extra? 1 hour is a piece of cake.
I mean, after coming home, sometimes we have to work again, connect remotely and work.
You need to work when you get home too, by the
Sometimes,
computer?
yes.
So how late do you have to stay up sometimes?
Sometimes midnight.
Midnight? Then what time does work begin in the morning?
8ish,
8ish. How long is your commute?
half an hour.
Oh, that's a piece of cake. Half-hour commute isn't bad for Toronto. So, you got to bed at midnight, you go to work at 8, how much sleep you need?
7 hours. 7 hours.
7. So you can get up at 7. No, those days, what you do is when you have more, take a little extra rest on those days when you don't have to stay up till midnight. So the days when you have to stay up till midnight, you can do a yoga and get up and get by with 5 hours in those days. That's what I would do. You every day is just sometimes.
Sometimes.
So when you have the time, you can take a little extra rest. But you should on those days when you stay up till midnight, and you should still get up early. Because you've taken rest on the days when you didn't have to stay up till, some extra rest when you didn't have to stay up till midnight. That's what I would do. Any other questions?
Srila Gurudev, you had mentioned before that, okay, what you're probably looking for is how to balance your external responsibility with your spiritual sense. But balance is much more than that. You had mentioned in your
Oh yeah,
talk.
it's much deeper than that.
Can you talk about that a little bit, Srila Gurudev? I'm curious to know what you meant.
It means to be equipoised in the face of all dualities. That's the deeper meaning of balance. I talked about it at great length. To see happiness and distress both as the special blessings of Krishna. That's balance. Equipoise. To be equipoise in the duality. The waves of the material nature, sukha, dukkha, sukha, dukkha, sukha, dukkha. To see all of it as the mercy of Krishna. The happiness and the distress is all Krishna's mercy. That's it. It's like death is a distress that's coming to us, you see. Or old age. You see. You have to see everything as Krishna's special blessing, and then you'll be perfectly balanced in every situation. Even your midnight yoga is a special Krishna blessing. So you have to see it all as Krishna's special blessing to help you take shelter more intensely, more intensely, more intensely, more intensely. One has that vision, then they'll be peaceful in every situation. Even in the midst of the greatest turmoil, they remain peaceful. Prabhupada actually he said, you American and Europeans, he said, someday you will leave the world. That's, just imagine being in the position of leading the whole world. As Prabhupada said, we would be in that position someday. Having to deal with how stressful that would be. All the turmoil going on in the world, to be in a position where one is expected to give guidance to the whole human society. Just imagine how stressful that would be. So we really have to learn now on the microcosmic level how to be perfectly balanced in every situation. And if we do that, if we become absolutely perfect and balanced in every situation, and Krishna will give us more responsibility, more responsibility, more responsibility to deal with the turmoil and chaos happening on this planet. Yes?
Prabhu, so, to be equipoised, so right now, we are not equipoised. We are
Not very much. No.
right. So we
We're
have
still
this.
very much affected. We neophytes are very much affected by the dualities. Let's face the fact. We're very much disturbed by the dualities. Yeah.
So, so we are going through this up and downs of life. If upper control limit is there, lower control limit, we are not in the median. We are going like this. So, how do we? The end state is to be equipoised. So, what is the process for us to go through practical steps to get to that state of being equipoised? Because right now we are not. So, is that a gradual?
Taking shelter of the spiritual master is one thing. Taking shelter of the holy names. These are the keys. Begging Krishna to fully absorb you in his loving service with your every thought, word, and deed in all times, places, and circumstances. And then sincerely trying to do that. Sincerely trying to always act in a way that will please your spiritual master and Krishna, and then please the Vaishnava. Always trying to think, speak, and act in a way that will please your spiritual master and Krishna. That's the key of how to become a master of balance. Yes.
Srila Gurudev, how to balance our chanting and active service, because sometimes
I would get up early and finish your rounds first. That's what my wife and I do. Because just like she does the deity worship, in Austin, I bathe and dress Prabhupada and I cook the breakfast offering. So my whole job appeared practically finished. And she's bathing and dressing Sri Radharama and Hare Krishna deities. So our japa period doesn't really exist. So we have a japa, we get up and chant our rounds. We get up at 2 a.m. get our rounds done first. Just go deep, deep, deep into japa mala with no distractions. That's the thing. Get your rounds done before you get to do any activities. That's the key. That's the easiest way.
Proper balance means you don't give up your Krishna consciousness for other things. Some distresses comes and there are so many rituals. We try to forget about our Krishna consciousness, but we follow the rituals. So that is not balance.
For example?
For example, like we recently visited somebody, their family persons have left. Especially this happens in the Indian culture. That some death happens or somebody is sick. We put Krishna consciousness aside and we do other things first.
They said don't worship the deities when there's a death in the family. So the deities were going hungry for many days because of a death in the family.
That is not balance.
Mundane Hindu rituals.
That's one thing, but anything happens, we put our Krishna consciousness on the side or do other things, but Krishna consciousness can be postponed. But we should give priority to Krishna consciousness. And then other things later.
Jai. Krishna is always put Krishna first. That's the key. Krishna first. As even a good Christian is supposed to do that. Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all things shall be added unto you. First see what does Prabhupada want me to do? What does Krishna want me to do? What would Prabhupada want me to do in this situation? What would my Guru Maharaj want me to do in this situation? If you don't know, ask him.
sometimes it's really tricky. Should I go for service or should I chant my rounds? Like in the morning time?
You should have your rounds done.
But there are situations like sometimes there are some services at that time.
It's 2 o'clock in the morning?
No, not 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock.
You should get your rounds done by 4 o'clock. Have your rounds done by 4 a.m. There's
For,
no
for
problem.
example, Arjuna was given to be equipoised. He was supposed to kill his own family members. So who is going to give the priority to the one's attachment to the family members, or going to follow Krishna? That's what it is. Sometimes we are carried away. Oh, my father says, I must better listen. My father and mother is my God, so I must listen to them, and I'll do Krishna consciousness when I have separated from them. Then I will do it. That's not the way. We know what is right, that should be done first.
Next.
How to avoid misunderstanding in the sense that, okay, I'm balanced versus being complacent. Like, okay, Prabhu, this is time, place and circumstances, I've got to do this thing right now and then I'll come back. So how to avoid this misplaced sense of balance versus or real balance versus complacence?
The Prabhupada said we were fighting Vaishnavas like Hanuman and Arjuna. Not that I'm so balanced that, like Gandhi said, if somebody is raping my daughter, I remain non-violent. that artificial balance, you see. You have to uphold dharma. Not you're so balanced that a dharma can going all around you and don't care about it. No, we have to be fighting like Arjuna and Hanuman to establish dharma. Just like in our lectures, somebody speaks some bogus philosophy, not that I'm equipoised. Oh, you're speaking Mayavadi philosophy, I'm equipoised. No, we smashed that Mayavadi philosophy, or atheism. Prabhupada could be, anger can be used in the service of Krishna. Just like she was thinking, is it an offense to be chastised someone? No, if someone needs to be chastised, it's an offense not to chastise them. Not in the name of equipoised. I'm the temple president, I'm so equipoised, I won't correct any devotees. Let them do all nonsense. Somebody's smoking marijuana in the brahmacharya ashram, but I'm equipoised. No. We have to establish dharma on this planet. Kick out all the Kali influence. Kali, kick out Kali. We're not equipoised in Kali. Kick out Kali.
Complacency means to
Huh?
cheat oneself. What he asked is cheating. Because if somebody is balanced, balance means you intelligently decide what is priority, what is to be done. And it needs to be done. Not that I will postpone it or accomplish it.
I'm so equipoised that even though there's a big sink full of dirty dishes in the kitchen that need to be washed, but I'm equipoised. Dirty kitchen, clean kitchen, it's all the same. I'm equipoised. All I know. We have to be clean. Prabhupada said revolutionary clean. That's the challenge for some of us who came from the dirty hippie background. But it's Prabhupada's order to be revolutionary. Not equipoised. Dirt and suchi, asuchi, I'm equipoised. Next.
Alright, you mentioned that we should always try to see every problem as a special mercy of Krishna.
Yes.
And again, speaking to the concept of balance, right? So we wake up early in the morning, finish our japa, finish our reading, our, whatever worship we do, and then we go through life, and then sometimes because of your responsibilities, you're given a challenge or a problem that you're faced with that really takes away a lot of your time and attention from focusing.
So beg Krishna to help you. My dear Lord, please let me do this, take this challenge and conquer this challenge very nicely in your service. And ask Krishna to help you deal with it. My dear Lord, I'm trying to serve you, and I'm having this great difficulty in my service, so please help me to do this perfectly, in a way that would please you. Ask Krishna to help you. Because if you're offering it for His service, and you're having difficulty, my dear Lord, I'm trying to serve you perfectly, but I'm having great difficulty doing that. So please, my dear Lord, bless me, I can serve you perfectly in this situation. And Krishna will not help you. He will help you. My dear Lord, I want to serve you perfectly, but I'm baffled how to do it in this situation. So please bless me, how in this situation I can please you with my thoughts, words, and deeds, that they all become perfect in this very challenging situation. That makes sense? If you're begging for pure devotional service, you can beg 24 hours a day for pure devotional service. Krishna says, Yad Kadashi Yadashnasi Yajnahosi Dadasi Yad, everything should be done for my pleasure and satisfaction. So my dear Lord, I'm in this situation, and please bless me, I can do this in a way that would please you.
Beg and beg.
Huh?
I go on begging, when it comes I don't want to do it. How to keep that balance? By chanting, we are always begging.
Yeah, I addressed that a few minutes ago. I already addressed that point. Not that you is begging, but so there's three things. There's thoughts, words, and deeds. They should all be offered to Krishna. Not you just beg for pure devotional service, and the opportunity comes, you don't do it. There's all three things that you do. Your thoughts, your words, and your deeds all being offered to Krishna. Not just one or two of them, all three have to be. Not that begging for pure devotional service and they come and say, Prabhu, can you wash the dishes? Say, I'm sorry, I don't have time to do it. And the service comes, you're begging for pure devotional service, and the service comes and you say, no, thank you.
I've got this and I've got that.
I've been begging, I spent 2 hours begging Krishna for pure devotional service, then I'm asked to offer the arti and say, no, why don't you do it?
No, they don't say that. Wait, they will say, oh, I've got this, I've got that, I've got that, I've got so much other things to do, I won't be able to do. They politely say like that. Not that I won't do it.
Yeah, we have that lazy tendency we have to overcome. Prabhupada said, don't be a lazy fellow, you see. We have this lazy fellow tendency, some of us at least. We don't want to do things, we just want to be lazy. So we have to learn to become, Prabhupada said, daring and active. We have to learn how to become very active persons for Krishna. Overcome the lazy tendencies. See, we have maybe some more questions coming on the internet. Yeah, we have many. Let's check these out here. We have more people on the internet than we do in here in the hell. We got 36 people on the internet. Let's see. Okay. Is it okay to keep a target in exams and by getting attached to the results? Actually, whatever you're doing, you should try to be the best. Prabhupada said that Krishna is businessman. He should aspire to be the wealthiest businessman in the whole world. So whatever you're doing, you should try to be the best. Why not? We want to become recognized as the leaders of the world. That's our goal. So whatever we're doing, we should try to be the best. Why not? Is it okay to depend on my ability to study? Yes, not that you don't study, you say, Krishna, please help me pass the exam. No. You should, in school, you should apply yourself to nicely mastering the subject very nicely, not that you slough off and don't study and ask Krishna at the time of the exam to help you do well in the exam. That would be very nice. At times when Krishna puts us in troublesome situations, how should we take this balanced approach? See it as Krishna's mercy. Krishna, even though difficulties are the most auspicious situation to be in, and even though I didn't beg for them, you're so kindly give me this difficulty, even though I didn't ask for it. So to see the difficulties, Krishna's special blessings, and that's the proper move. And when you have that, when you see it as the special blessings of Krishna, then Krishna will help you to deal with it expertly. That's one of the qualities of the pure devotee, he's expert. Prabhupada is very expert in dealing with every situation. So the more we have awakened our Krishna consciousness, we'll be expert at dealing with every situation. Alakananda Devi Dasi from Austin, Texas. Okay, is it okay to correct the non-devotees when they're hindering our Krishna consciousness? Or is it better to beg Lord Krishna to help us remain fixed in our Krishna consciousness? You can do both. Both are okay. How to avoid getting causal in Krishna or casual Krishna consciousness? Prabhupada said casual means casualty. So we have to understand this is a life, it's a matter of spiritual life and death. I have to awaken pure love of Krishna within my heart, otherwise I will take birth again in this material world. Just like we were preaching last night to a nice gentleman who's eating chicken. You're thinking, well, I'm chanting Hare Krishna, so, certainly it'll be okay, I'm eating chicken. We told him no, you have to take a chicken birth for every chicken you eat. And he said he's going to give up eating chicken. So you have to be serious about this process. It's not that you can be casual about it. And this is serious business. If you don't awaken pure love of God within your heart, you're taking another material body. You're going to suffer again in this material world. If you don't awaken pure love of God within your heart, you're going to take birth in this nasty place again. So one should be very, very determined. I must become a pure devotee of Krishna right now. You see. Prabhupada said, initiation, take it as soon as possible. Because death can come at any minute. To be very serious and very determined. I can die at any minute. Therefore I should get initiated as soon as possible. Because Prabhupada said, without initiation you can't go back to Godhead. Someone should be very serious to become initiated devotee, and be a totally sold-out servant of your spiritual master right now, as soon as possible. It's very serious and very determined. And you're initiated, you have to understand the order of your spiritual master is your life and soul. Not that you can mix it with sense gratification. Many householders are doing that now. Even though Prabhupada said sex life is only in household life, one practices celibacy. Unless you want to have a child, then you do our version of Govardhan Samskara is once in a month, you chant 50 rounds of japa, just after the lady's menstrual cycle. And once in a month you can have sex with trying to have a child. Other than that, strict brahmachari life. So many householders are mixing this idea, well, it's okay, we're married. This is not serious Krishna consciousness. This is compromising with sense gratification. So it's compromised Krishna consciousness won't take you back to Godhead and keep you entangled. Even if you're initiated, it'll keep you entangled in material existence. You see? So one has to take it very seriously, this concept. Yeah.
Sure, Gurudev. So if Krishna has already destined our quota that you're supposed to get, why should we
Quota of what?
Quota of whatever has to come to us? If Krishna has already destined that for us, materially, let's say, why should we over endeavor materially if that's not going to fulfill
But how do you know
us?
what your destiny is?
But if
You don't know.
if we want to become the wealthiest businessman to serve Krishna, then
But maybe your destiny is to become a wealthiest businessman in the world.
but then
How do you know it's not?
will that not cause over endeavor on our part?
It's Prabhupada's statement. No, obviously you shouldn't do what's going to sacrifice your Krishna consciousness. Obviously, you're a businessman.
No.
Okay.
I'm just saying if I do that or in anything, then I might not be able to. I'll be spending more time on that activity than and causing unfulfilled. I'll be feeling unfulfilled both materially and spiritually.
Well, you're speaking theoretically, not as a businessman.
No, well, he's an accountant. Let's say he wants to be the best accountant in the world. He'd have to spend 14 hours a day working on that. Because being the best accountant in the world is not an easy thing to do.
Bhaktivinoda Thakur was the best magistrate, and he spent less time than the other magistrates. Bhaktivinoda's example was that he was the best magistrate, and he spent less time than the non-devotee magistrate. That defeats the argument. Bhaktivinoda defeats the argument. To be the best, I have to over-endeavor and give up my sadhana. No.
Also, one time, one of the artists during Srila Prabhupada time, she was telling Prabhupada that if she can go and learn, go back to school and learn more artistic work so she can do better, Prabhupada says, you are doing very good, you don't need to go.
So when does our first session end?
You can
11:30. We can take a, maybe.
Should we just go straight through? What's the good of an
We can
intermission?
take a break now.
Can we take a break now for about 10 minutes?
All right, 10-minute break. Okay, we'll put it on over 10 minutes. What is the reason for getting married if you don't want to have children? Well, in my case, I was actually on the sannyas waiting list. But my GVC gave me an option. She's not going to like this a lot. To marry this devotee in Vishnupriya Devi Dasa. And when I understood the character and the caliber of Krishna consciousness of this devotee, I said, this is really better than sannyas, to have this associate. To have a preaching partner like that would be better than being a sannyasi. And it's even confirmed by Prabhupada in his books, if you have a good wife, there's no need to take sannyas. So for me, Suzanne, it was a preaching partnership. It's like they call it, there's a single-barreled shotgun and a double-barreled shotgun. So my wife and I are a double-barreled shotgun. That's why for me, marriage was an opportunity to have more power as a preacher, for me. My wife has some comments now too.
I would say why one should get married. It's better to get married and have one partner, right?
Tulsi Gabbard's going to run for president of the United States. She's not this kind of devotee, but she's our guru's a blue ISKCON devotee. She's favorable to ISKCON, very favorable, and she's running for president of the United States. So maybe, anyway, a little side point. She wants to defeat Trump. So anyway, whatever your duty is, even if it's an intense duty of being a big corporate manager or an accountant, whatever you're doing, very intense. I was working also a karmic job as a computer programmer for a few years. I retired after 3 years. Took early retirement. But the thing is, whatever you're doing, if you have very good sadhana, then Krishna will protect you and bless you in every situation. You can be his pure devotee, go back to Krishna. So let's see now. More nice verses here we can look at. Now we'll flip over to Bhagavad Gita 12:15, another nice verse in this connection of balance. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 12, text number 15. Yasmanadvajate lokanadvajate chayaha harshamarsha bhavajay gair muktaya sachame priyaha. He by whom no one is put into difficulty, and who is not disturbed by anyone, who is equipoised in happiness and distress, fear and anxiety, is very dear to me. Wow. By practicing this balance thing that we're talking about, you become dear to Krishna. Wow, isn't that great? You can become dear to Krishna by becoming balanced, equipoised, purport. A few of a devotee's qualifications are further being described. No one is put into difficulty, anxiety, fearfulness, or dissatisfaction by such a devotee. Such a devotee is kind to everyone. He does not act in a way to put others into anxiety at the same time. If others try to put a devotee to anxiety, he's not disturbed. It is by the grace of the Lord that he is so practiced that he is not disturbed by any outward disturbance. This is, again, balanced, you see. Actually, because the devotee is always engrossed in Krishna consciousness and engaged in devotional service, such material circumstances cannot move him. Generally, a materialistic person becomes very happy when there is something for his sense gratification in his body, but when he sees that others have something for their sense gratification that he doesn't have, he's very sorry and envious. You have a better car than me. When he is expecting some retaliation from an enemy, he is in a state of fear, and when he cannot successfully execute something, he becomes dejected. This is the karma, you see. A devotee who is always transcendental to all these disturbances is very dear to Krishna. So, that's another reason, you see, to become dear to Krishna. Krishna Priya. You see, we all want to be Krishna Priya, very dear to Krishna. We have to become dear to Krishna. That's Krishna consciousness. Become dear to Krishna. I want to be such a devotee that Krishna will be very, very pleased with me. We should always try to please Krishna. This is the point. You always try to please Krishna, then you'll be the well-wishing friend of every living entity. Krishna is Suhridam Sarvabhutanam, the best well-wishing friend of all living beings. So the devotee also, he's the best well-wishing friend of all living beings because he's always trying to be Krishna conscious and share Krishna consciousness with the suffering souls of this world. So now we can look at, we have Bhagavad Gita, same chapter, text 18 and 19 is also very appropriate for today's seminar. Samapsashtra chamitre cha tata manapamanayo sitoshna sukadukaduteshu samasanga vivarjitaha tu yaninda statir mauni santushto yenakenachit aniketa shirim stira matir bhaktiman me priya naraha. One who is equal to friends and enemies, who is equipoised in honor and dishonor, heat and cold, happiness and distress, fame and infamy, who is always free from contaminating association, always silent and satisfied with anything, who doesn't care for any residence, who is fixed in knowledge, and who is engaged in devotional service, such a person is very dear to me. Purport. The devotee is always free from all bad association. Sometimes one is praised and sometimes one is defamed. That is the nature of human society. But the devotee is always transcendental to artificial fame and infamy, distress or happiness. He is very patient. He does not speak anything but the topics about Krishna. Therefore, he is called silent. Silent does not mean that he should not speak. Silent means he should not speak nonsense. One should speak only of essentials, and the most essential speech for the devotee is to speak for the sake of the Supreme Lord. A devotee is very happy in all conditions. Sometimes he may get very palatable foodstuffs, sometimes not, but he is satisfied. Nor does he care for any residential facility. He may sometimes live underneath a tree. He may sometimes live in a very palatial building. He is attracted to neither. He is called fixed because he is fixed in his determination and knowledge. We may find some repetition in the descriptions of the qualification of a devotee, but this is just to emphasize the fact the devotee must acquire all these qualifications. Without good qualifications, one cannot be a pure devotee. Harava bhaktasya kuto mahangana. One who is not a devotee has no good qualification. One who wants to be recognized as a devotee should develop the good qualifications. Of course, he does not extraneously endeavor to acquire these qualifications, but engagement in Krishna consciousness and devotional service automatically helps him to develop them. So that balance that makes one very dear to Krishna, you don't have to strive for it separately. You just strive to always be engaged in Krishna consciousness with every thought, with every word, and every deed, in all time, places, and circumstances, and then naturally become balanced or equipoised. It comes automatically, not that you have to separately endeavor for it. See, we have any other questions? Kardamuni never typed it in, did he?
I do not know.
What was his question?
There was his question was that how to balance. Well, it's like they have to work very hard in doing some project work, developing what is it? Software development,
Yeah.
and they have to use many hours.
Yeah.
So he said, how can they be properly situated?
Well, try to do it. If you're working a job as a software developer, and you try to do it very expertly in first class. Obviously, because you want to continue being paid, so you can use that money in Krishna's service. So you should try to do it very expertly and be a very first class programmer.
For me, I would say, instead of becoming first class, it's okay to become first class, but why sacrifice one's Krishna consciousness for developing software?
No, the thing is you're paid to do that so many hours a day. It's not that you go there and chant japa at your job.
I've been given that job because I wanted it. And Krishna provided it for me.
When you're at your job, you should do a first class job.
That's
Not that you
okay.
should chant japa and read Bhagavatam on your job.
If that's the case, then we have to prioritize our japa and reading Bhagavatam and
That's
studying
right.
it. That's
When
have to be
you're
done.
when you're not on the job, you have to be very intense in your sadhana. Not that you just work and sleep. Any questions? Coming up, any questions?
You mentioned that one should be ready to be chastised always.
Prabhupada mentioned. Prabhupada said, I just read what Prabhupada said. He said that it was Prabhupada's instructions, not mine. Who am I to say such things?
So can you maybe give some context, like why around that? Because sometimes we can see that when devotees don't have proper adhikar, and they may chastise, or it might sound, especially if they're not their well-wisher.
Well, the thing is, if you're being chastised, someone may chastise you wrongly also. A nearby devotee may chastise you when you really didn't do anything wrong. That's another thing. That's different. If someone is actually chastising you for something that you are doing wrong, that's what we're talking about. Of course, you don't do anything wrong, right?
What is the meaning of But sometimes we have to understand what is the meaning of chastisement. Sometimes which is helpful also to us. Just like Prabhupada was told by one of the, when Prabhupada was just printing magazines, and Prabhupada was told by one karmi person that why you are distributing only magazine they will read and throw it away, why don't you write books? So now he is not a devotee nor he has a position, but he did told Prabhupada, and Prabhupada took it very seriously. So what is beneficial for our Krishna consciousness, we can take it from the dog also.
Krishna spoke to that karmi, the Prabhupada. He took it, yes, this is Krishna actually speaking to this man that should write books, not just magazines. So you have to see, even a non-devotee may say something to you, but you realize actually if Krishna is speaking to this person to correct me, or to speak with a devotee, it's a good point. Very good point. Anything else?
She is telling how the Kurmi person, how they manage like you said 2 a.m. They can start the japa. So how she will manage, or anybody like who is working?
Repeat it for me.
Yeah, can you please say your question, Mataji? I will repeat.
Okay. The working person, suppose I'm working, and then how I'll manage the japa, like 2 a.m. Buddha says, 2 a.m. we have to wake up and then start the japa. And then morning time we have to work. And then as a ladies, we have to how to do the household works also. So how we manage?
Yeah, she's saying how is someone who is a lady who is managing her household and working a job going to ever wake up at 2 a.m. to chant her japa? It's just not possible.
How many hours a day do you work? Full-time job?
No, I just asked, like, is it for a person who's working every day, how is it possible?
Yeah, let's find out. Let's look at the exact situation now. How many hours is the job?
Pardon?
How many hours do you work?
Oh, no, I just asked this question in general, not.
No, we have to deal with specifics now. We're
So-
dealing with somebody's daily schedule.
I can answer.
Yeah, let Guru Mata answer.
First thing, this is a modern culture, Kali Yuga. It's first thing, the women should not be working jobs. If they can maintain themselves in a simple living, not that aggravate, trying to get so many comforts of the house, this, that, and they can live simply, then one person works can meet a deal. And if they have to go, then they can do part-time job, if there is necessary. You see?
Oh, a lot of people.
That's they should not be going to work.
Yeah, Prabhupada said the
Just
lady,
like-
wife is not supposed to work, that's the daily
Just like
culture.
when we got married, Prabhu had to go to work. He worked part-time and we lived. We paid our rent, we paid our utility and everything. So it depends on how you use it.
I never wanted to send her to work. I could never conceive of her sending her to work a karmi job. To me, she's a goddess. I couldn't send a goddess to someone that
So then there is no question of how they can chant.
Yes.
But women wants to be independent nowadays, so they want to be equal with the men. That's the problem.
Yeah.
There is a question.
Hear it from a woman.
There's a question.
I know I have friends, both the husband and wife are not in Krishna consciousness. So at times, if a husband is not in Krishna consciousness, they expect the wife to go to work.
That's the Kali Yuga.
I don't think it's very good. You should live such a way you don't have to send you should live in such a way you don't have to send your wife to work a job. It's just like, how can you send your wife to work a karma job? You know? They should live more simply.
They are non-devotees.
Huh?
They are non-devotees
Oh,
in the
non-devotees.
Yes.
Yeah.
The non-devotees, they don't know anything.
They are in mode of ignorance, passion and ignorance.
Actually, when I was a kid going to America, not all the women were housewives. The only women that were working were school teachers. Other than that, there was no women in the workplace at all when I was a kid in America. No women in the workplace at all. A few secretaries maybe. But it was very rare for a woman to work a job when I was a kid growing up in the U.S. All the women were at home taking care of the household,
That's the proper.
cooking, taking care of the kids. That was their domestic engineers.
Does your wife go to work? I'm asking a Mongalila.
She's working part-time, like couple of hours in the school.
Part-time. So she has time. She has a time to cook the nice feast also for many devotees. Huh?
Okay, we have some questions coming in from the internet. Let's see what we got going on.
Tapasvini.
Okay, Tapasvini Devidas. You mentioned about learning how to be more active, how to learn it. Well, we just have to always see, let me always be engaged in Krishna's service. That's the mood. Let me always, every minute be engaged in serving Krishna. Have that desire and strive to do that.
If you love somebody, you will be active as. If you love that, by love one can learn how to be active in that service.
It's like the mother has great affection for the baby. She's constantly serving that baby 24 hours a day. She doesn't even feel like she's working. It's just like her love. Okay, Rupa Manjari Devi Dasi. We find sometimes Krishna is mercifully giving us so much service, but there is only 24 hours. This may affect our sadhana or the services we are already engaged in. How to know the balance? The thing is, you have to have good sadhana. You have to have good japa. Baba said, all my disciples have to read all of my books, or they will fall down. So you have to have good japa and good time and time for studying the books also,
Rupa Manjari.
along with your service.
Rupa Manjari. When Krishna gives us service, we should become ecstatic and finish the services that has been allotted to us as quick as possible, so that we have enough time for doing our japa, reading and everything. Not that you wash 2 plates for half an hour.
There's a very nice, I remember there's a very nice purport from the Madhya Lila Chaitanya Charitamrita in 25th chapter, 278, exactly speaking what you just mentioned, Maharaj. The purport is, all the devotees connected with Krishna consciousness movement must read all the books that have been translated, the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita and others. Otherwise, after some time, they will simply eat, sleep and fall down from their position. Thus, they will miss the opportunity to attain an eternal blissful life of transcendental pleasure.
So I should be able to ask each and every one of you, which book are you reading right now? Say, well, I'm reading Nectar Devotion, or I'm reading Bhagavatam, or I'm reading... I should be able to ask everybody in this room, which book are you reading right now, Prabhupada's books? Which one were you...
Srimad Bhagavatam and 9 times Sri
She's
Gita.
telling you what book she's reading.
Morning.
Srimad Bhagavatam.
Very good.
And
I'm reading Nectar Devotion right now, and I'm going to read Bhagavatam next. Nectar Devotion is really, really sweet.
And evening time, different. Sometimes Gita, sometimes Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Evening,
sometimes
different books. Sometimes the Gita, sometimes the
That's
Chaitanya
good. That's also
Charitamrita.
good. You can read a little here, a little there, but the thing is, you should systematically make sure you're reading all the books. That's the point. Every devotee should read every page of every one of Prabhupada's books. And you should always be working on one of them at least. Maybe 2 or 3. 20 minutes for this, 20 minutes. But at least one book of Prabhupada you should be reading, and always be reading at least one of Prabhupada's books. Everybody should always be engaged in doing that. That will make you strong. It's called Shastra Chaksus. You'll be able to see everything through the eyes of the scripture, and you'll be able to speak, think, and act in terms of scripture. That will make you a perfect sadhu, equipoised sadhu. The books will give you that power if you read them. You're directly connecting with Prabhupada and getting his direct energy to empower you in your sadhana by reading the books. You're directly, just like you could have a private darshan with Prabhupada. That's what you're getting when you study these books. You're having your own private darshan with Prabhupada and become empowered in your sadhana. Okay, anything else? Let's see, Casper's. Yes, here we go.
Vivek has question.
Casper's is asking a question. Now, Vivek said, Vivek tried to keep it on the topic, but I will answer it. But how does rain perverse yajna? That when the demigods are pleased when we do yajna, Krishna is pleased, and the demigods are pleased when you do yajna, and they give rain as a reciprocation for that. Okay, obeisances from Casper's. Krishna instructs in Gita 1866 to give up all religions. How to avoid being religious in the Krishna conscious process. He's talking about, he's not saying to give up religion, he's telling to give up everything, sarvadharman pradityaja mamekam shadanam raja. He's talking about giving up all things that are not religious, actually. That's what he's talking about. Give up all duties which are not pleasing to Krishna. Another meaning is give up a pseudo-religion. Pseudo-religion. Come to the true religion, which is to reconnect with Krishna in loving service. What he's really saying is give up all those things which are not connecting you with me. That's what he's actually saying. Anything that's not connecting you with me, give it up. And simply connect yourself with me. So the religious in the material sense, religiosity, this religion, that religion, that's not real religion. Religion, the Latin is a word coming from Latin that means to relink, to relig. So the real meaning of religion, proper meaning, is yoga, or connecting with God in loving service. That is real religion. The pseudo-religion of I'm better than you because I accepted Jesus, even though I'm eating hamburgers every Sunday morning after church, I'm better than you because I accepted Jesus. That's religiosity. And that is given up. That pseudo-religion is given up. The genuine religion of total devotion to the pleasure of the Supreme Lord with every thought, word, and deed, in all times, places, and circumstances, that is embraced fully and wholly. That is what Krishna wants us to do. Okay, anything else?
Question. I'm speaking for myself. Sometimes it's really austerity reading Srila Prabhupada's books because I'm not at that state of Krishna consciousness where I can relish. So because it's like a duty, I'm supposed to do it to. So after chanting, you sit and read. And sometimes the philosophy is so intense that I'm not able to digest, or sometimes it just goes over my head. I still persist and try to continue because that's what I'm supposed to do.
The thing is, by that duty, the realization will come. The day will come when you realize what Prabhupada's talking about. If you don't read the books, you'll never realize it. It was too difficult for me, too high philosophy. But even if you go ahead and do it on the order of the spiritual master, and even though right now it seems you keep doing that, and you make that a regular part of your life to regularly read these books, then that realization, understanding will come for you. In the course of time, you'll perfectly understand everything. You understand?
But the thing is that Right now, you are thinking to understand Bhagavad Gita from your material perspective. So you cannot understand any scripture with your own perspective, but by following the order and doing as a duty, the message will be revealed. Because Krishna said, because you are my devotee, that's why I'm telling you. So you have to be devoted. This message you cannot understand from the material point of view at all. That's why many scholars give the misinterpretation of Bhagavad Gita and other shastras.
Anything else? If there's nothing else, we can adjourn. Anything else? Anybody could give any wrap-ups? So we'll give a little wrap-up here. We're talking about balance. How to balance spiritual, on one level it means how to balance your material duties with your spiritual duties. And the answer to that, of course, is you have to spiritualize all your material duties and make everything spiritual. Even Arjuna fighting the battle of Kurukshetra was spiritual. Even you working your job, it's a spiritual activity when you offer the result to Krishna. So on one level, balance means that, to dovetail everything in the service of the Lord. And another level, balance means to be equipoised in all the ups and downs that we go through as neophytes, instead of even difficulties with the special blessings of Krishna to help us intensify our feelings of His presence, our feelings of taking shelter of Him. So in this way, try to understand how to become perfectly balanced with your every thought, your every word, your every deed in all times, places, and circumstances. And you can create a balanced, Krishna-conscious atmosphere around you, and ultimately you can actually lead the whole world and become balanced. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai.